Hey you guys, another kind of a riff video where I'm going to talk probably a load of nonsense about the slots and how I understand them and how I try and have a philosophy on what you're playing and my mindset to it. Now, I'm sorry if the picture's grainy. I can't be asked to plug the lights in. A lot of conversation about crap casinos and crap RTP and the casino takes a rubbish RTP, therefore it's a crap casino. I would rather have more people on a low RTP than nobody playing a high RTP casino. So if a casino takes top dollar RTP, return to player, then it isn't a given that that's going to play well for you. As an individual slot player, RTP, it's not going to matter that much. There's no way it can matter that much, because it's over trillions of spins, and especially with these volatile slot machines, they're so volatile. One person's winning. Watch that last video I've posted. Somebody else is going to be affected by it. The more people playing, to me, is a better casino than high RTP and nobody playing. So when the gambling commission or the rules came into place and they binned auto spins and they binned off bonus buys, which I do think bonus buys are an absolute the devil's plaything. Bonus buys. Anybody winning on bonus buys, I cannot believe over the course of time it's doing you any favours. Auto spins, I don't think that's that bad. I never used to like them, so I never used to play. I never used to believe in them. But now it is, with these games that take 500 spins to bonus, you get repetitive strain. Like it's painful, isn't it? It's better to just let it play, because for 80% of the spins, nothing happens. Look at that video I've done tonight on Big Bass. I think I've been trying to work out an analogy, a philosophy of how you need to look at slot machines, or how I look at them. And fair play, if you want to come up with a better analogy than me, then dive in. If I've got RTP wrong, tell me. But I understand now, each casino takes a slot machine, and that RTP of that slot machine is for that casino, unless there's a group of casinos under one roof. Is it Entain or something like that? Or I don't know. Say Bet365 also owns some other casinos. Those casinos will have a deal with the provider. So that, I don't quite understand this seed thing. But this seed thing is that provider says to this casino, I will guarantee you 96% RTP on that slot machine, no matter what. So the RTP and the seed moves around to make sure that that casino gets 96%, what it's paid for, basically. So that I haven't quite got an analogy for. There is a scale, though. There's a scale of this slot machine is hot or not. This is like counting cards in Vegas. If there's lots of tens in that deck, it's ready to pay. If there's not, and the seed that casino's paid for is always a moving scale. The computer has to adjust, and people say it won't. It's just mathematical. Yeah, of course, over the course of time. But that slot machine has to pay a certain amount pretty much regularly when it's audited, when everybody goes, what's that paying? That there has to be movement. Let me know if you've ever played a slot machine and you've won and won and won and won and won and gone, oh my God, all I did kept winning on that slot machine. No, you win, you have a good win, and it rinses back, and you win and it rinses back. In the years I've been playing slot machines, and I get obsessed, or I get into liking one slot machine at a time. It was Temple Tumble, it's been the Crypt, which is now playing crap. You've never ever as one slot machine let you win and then win again and win again. And the same if it gets rinsed, all of a sudden you get the RTP lander spin, which I know is not a real thing, but there has to be a moving slide there for that casino. Now, that I know is a I don't know, a thinking. I'm thinking about that. It isn't a fact, but I'd be interested if people agreed or disagreed that there has to be some sort of movement. Now, the rest of us, the popularity. This is what I want to talk about. Is the popularity of a slot machine. I was trying to work out an analogy, and this is going to be really confusing because it's the first time I've said it out loud. So it's probably going to be a load of bollocks, as per usual with this channel. But it's like, I wanted to equate it to, I started thinking that playing slot machines, especially now, it's like going fishing. You play, you fish, you buy your maggots. You don't know if, when you put your maggot on a hook, if that maggot's going to catch anything. But when you buy your maggots, you kind of look at them and go, well, I don't expect to use these maggots for more than 4 or 5 days. I don't know how long maggots last for. They turn into flies, don't they? So when you buy your maggots, when you pay into your casino, you're effectively paying this casino owner farmer for maggots to go and try and catch his fish. So it's it's the casino's pond. But in this case, the casino has 5,000 ponds. It has 5,000 slot machines, or 4,000, or 2,000, or 800. However many your casino's got, that's how many ponds. So you deposit your money, you buy your maggots off the farmer, and you go and fish his ponds. Now, what happens is, as he's got more and more money with his... No, this is not what happens. This is not a real story. The more the farmer gets paid for maggots, the more he chucks fish into the pond. So you know, for each maggot, there's going to be, say you get 1,000, say you get 100 maggots, there's going to be 40 that won't catch anything. There'll be 20 that'll catch, well, probably 30 that'll catch the same amount. Say every maggot's worth 20p maggots. There'll be 10 maggots that get double your money. They'll get 30p back, 40p back. And there'll be maggots that catch a huge fish, a massive fish. But you know, when you buy your maggots, you expect in this random world different size of fish to be caught, and in some cases no fish. So it's like the farmer chucks so many fish into this pond when you play. Now what you want, you know, there's only maybe 1 big fish, 2 big fish, and they might not even catch. But if 20 people turned up and bought 100 maggots, 100 people, 1,000 people, and played, and the farmer chucked them all into this pond, into this one slot pond, and all of a sudden, there's 100 fishermen sat around this pond. Now you know there's a load of big fish in that pond, because more and more people are playing, more and more people have put money into this pond, and that sliding scale that the farmer is like saying, he's got like a robot. Here's another thing, he's got a robot, and he's basically saying, put some more fish in this pond. Put fish in this pond. And when you catch a fish, so you chuck your maggot in, wheel one in, and you've got one. It's a £2 fish for your 20p maggot. You have a choice. You take it back to the farmer to sell it to him, sell in his shop, or you chuck it back in the pond and keep fishing, don't you? You swap it for 20 more maggots. So I'm trying to get my head around this. This analogy is there's variables. The variable is, if everybody caught fish and walked out and sold them back to the farmer would have too many fish. He'd say to his robot that runs the pond, that one pond, that pond's too much fish come out of it. Feed the fish. So the robot feeds the fish don't eat no more. And now all the people that are left sat there don't know. They don't know that all the fish has come out, but now the fish aren't hungry, and it's dead spin, dead spin, dead spin. The farmer in his shot's got his money, but he's not greedy, he's not taking more fish, he's not just going to rinse the fish all the way down, because that would mean nobody would win. And no, he ain't going to get, if you get a fishing pond when nobody ever pulls a fish out, nobody ever plays it anymore. Unless the farmer goes, fuck it. I just leave that. I'll leave that pond. I'll leave that dead pond. You know, there's that fucking idiot that comes and plays that Goonies pond. He goes and puts 25. He buys 25 quid's worth of maggots for that Goonies pond. Nobody's played that fucking pond for a year. Let him play. He might win every now and again, but there's no fish in that fucking one, is there? So it's kind of my analogy, my thinking, and I'm trying. This will evolve as I try to make it make sense in my head. The more fishermen, the better. The more people fishing in the pond, the better. Casinos, when they change the rules, they should have changed the rules to say this is how many people are playing that slot machine. This is how popular that slot machine is. If it's just you, so if you went to a lake and it's just you fishing, would you think, fucking hell, I'm going to fucking catch all fish today? Or are you going to think, why is there no other fishermen here? Why is nobody else playing here? Why is nobody else fishing this pond? Because there's no fucking fish in it. But they're happy to take money off you, put maggots on a hook and throw it in. And that's when you look around and you see 50 fishermen in real life, you go, fuck, I ain't catching shit today. You obviously realise you're in a pond where the fish bite. So the thing is, with this analogy that I'm working on in my head, and I realise it's ridiculous, there's things that you can't know to give the casino an edge. So I think there's another part of what actually happens. So here's what I'm getting my head around. What actually happens is you pay the farmer for a bucket of maggots. He gives you the maggots, but what you do is he's got this robot that runs the pond. You give the maggot to the robot, and the robot puts it on a hook, and he decides how long the string is, the line. So the robot, this is a random part, but there's only certain outcomes in there. There's only certain fish. There's not catching a tiddler, catching the same size fish as what the maggot cost, catching a little bit more, catching a 5 times bigger, 10 times, and a massive fish. So the variables are there, but let's pretend the bigger fish eat at the bottom of the pond. So the bigger the fish gets, the more it goes further down. So you give the maggot to this robot. This robot puts it on a hook and decides how long the line is. So it chucks it in and then pulls it out. Now, how long was the line? We don't know. Was there even a hook? Did the robot put a hook on it? No, sometimes it doesn't. So my head starts to think, as I'm sort of getting into this philosophy of, is it analogy? It's not a philosophy, is it? I think we are going fishing. Is that this robot, right? So what you need to catch a bonus is a long line, hook, maggot, chucks it in, drops down, long line, goes down to the big fish, because the bonus is going to be on average 45 times the maggot. But when it's a bonus tease, the line goes in, but there's no fucking hook on it. The line is long enough for the fish to look at it, but there's no hook, there's no maggot, or the maggot's not tied to the fucking hook, right? When you have a line long enough with a hook on it, the problem is there's some fish that have made the way, some little fish have made the way down the bottom, and then they can bite the hook at the bottom too. So when you pull up a bonus and it's fucking 70 pence, that's a little fish at the bottom of the pond. What we need, though, is the farmer to put as many fish in there and feed them to turn into bigger fish, so the bigger fish are near the bottom of the pond. The analogy is ridiculous, but the more people fishing, the bigger the fish will happen. The thing with it, though, when you sit on a slot machine, and this is the issue I have with slots, but I understand the casino has to have it as an edge, you don't know how many maggots have been sold. You don't know how many maggots have been played. You don't know how many people are fishing. And you don't know if somebody sat next to you has just pulled out a fucking whale and walked off with a whale. Because if you knew he'd pulled the whale out, I'm pretty sure you ain't hanging around in that pond when you've got 5,000 ponds. And this brings me back to an analogy. Well, then I think the guy walks off with the whale, sells it back to the farmer. The farmer can't sell all the whale, so chop the whale up, chuck the whale back in the pond, and that's what feeds the fish. Now the fish aren't biting. That's why when the whale goes, you ain't winning shit. So that's when the thing with this now, as I more and more think about it, because we've got to get away from. I'm trying to get away from being. It's too many of yous, too many like me, who love old slots. You love to return to places where you've won. Look at that video I've just put out. I won a load of money and I still played it later and got rinsed by it. And it's like catching a big fish in a pond and then 2 days later going back to the same pond thinking you can do it again. When you must have a better odds if there's another pond with 1,000 people fishing it. or another pond with 200 people fishing it. No one's fishing your pond because the pond that you've left when you caught the whale, if you were lucky to catch it, everybody else has lost and they've all fucked it off and there's nobody there. So we don't know how many people are fishing. We don't know how many maggots. We don't know how many fish have been taken out. We don't know how many fish have been taken out by people and thrown back in. We don't know the robot. We don't know if he's put the fucking maggot on the line. Dead spin. We don't know how long the line is to get to the... All these variables are things that we'll never know. And you have got to get into the fact that that is random. But outcomes, there's only a certain amount of outcomes. There's only a certain amount of things that can happen. When you put your maggot, when you give your maggot to the robot, there's only, dead spin, small loss, small win, double your money, 5x, 10x, 25x, 100x, 1000x, max win. There's only certain outcomes that ever happen. But we get that outcome and then we think it's going to happen again, even though it was a 1 in a million whale. It's insane. You can tell that I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, but I'm trying to get you to understand, like I'm trying to get me to when I sit and I play and I think it's going to come back to me. This slot's going to come back to me. Somebody else sat next to me somewhere in the world could have pulled a fucking whale and they're out of here and gone. And I'm sat there like a fucking clown thinking, catching tiddlers, chucking them back, catching medium, chucking them back, sitting there for hours and hours and hours. The whale was caught and it ain't getting caught again anytime soon. So this is where we're at when we're going through these sessions. What are you doing? What are you doing sat there playing that slot machine still? The Big Bass video 2 videos ago is a perfect example. I knew it, and this is what's fucking annoying about recording videos. If you're recording a certain video for like a first play review, you have to keep playing it. Even though I had a 40 quid bonus, I was 60, 50 quid down, I had a 40 quid bonus, or I was still 10 quid down after the bonus. Now that's catching a decent fish. Get the hell out of here. Find another slot or go to the fucking farm shop, sell the bastard fish back to the farmer. Get the hell out of here. You've had a bit of fun. It's cost you some money. But when I'm recording videos, especially specific videos, they are the ones that cost me a fortune because I have to sit on a pond going, this is fucking shit. 20 episodes of Goonies. It's like me sat playing Goonies Return. The robots look at me going, what, are you still playing this? No one's been for 3 months on this slot. It's all right. And that's another thing coming down the line. Casinos should be telling people how popular they are. They should be telling people how many people have played. They should be, I don't know whether they should be telling people if they've won or lost, where that scale is. It's a hot slot or but they should be retiring dead fucking ponds. And the dead ponds, when you get an email and you've got 50 fucking free spins, you're a shit slot player. Here's 50, because you don't get them when you're winning. I notice when I'm up on casinos, they don't fucking send you emails going, here's 50 free maggots for that pond over there that no one's been to. And it's my final point of this that is actually a full circle bullshit that I'm talking about, is if they're sending free spins to a dead pond, it'll all of a sudden not be a dead pond. Because if they've got 200 customers that are getting 50 free spins on that pond, all of a sudden there's 200 people fishing that pond. So I think it's worth, it's something I might actually do a video on. It's worth watching Twitter, YouTube, emails, and see what slot machine these casinos that you're members of are punting as free sign-up bets. So if it's like was it Starburst? You always see Starburst, Book of the Dead. I'm trying to think. Whatever you see is free spin sign-up. The people that have signed up via that link are playing that pond. So it might be worth, when you see it, go and have a quick fish in that pond. Because if they've had 50 maggots in it and pissed off, but that might be 200 people. That might have rejuvenated that pond even just for one day, which is why I think when I played I can't remember what that slot machine was, and I paid like 300 quid, didn't it, or 50 free spins. So I believe the amount of people playing, fishing, whatever we want to call it, is way more important than the RTP. I think it's so these. This is my final point. When the rules came in for the UK, that segmented all casinos into UK ponds. So the world was playing all their ponds, their massive ponds. This is why these crypto and all these bigger casinos now have got 1,500, 2,000 people playing. If you go to Faker's Stake, they say there's 1,800 people playing this and 1,500. I think what happened when they changed all the rules for the UK, you made all the ponds tiny. And now we're not playing the same slot machine as the rest of the world. We're on a segmented thing. That might not be true, but it's how it feels, isn't it? The UK slots seem to have been strangled. And when you go and play with the rest of the world, the slot seems to be a lot more lively. Seem to catch a few more fish. Bullshit analogies, I get it, but I'm sort of... When I sit at a slot machine, Paul, you're sitting next to a pond here. You're chucking your line in. You're trying. Don't get obsessed with a crap slot machine. Get the hell out of here, right? Stop the slot. Stop playing the shit old dead slots. Stop playing your favourite old slot machine. If you're doing it for entertainment, do it. But understand, nobody else is playing your shitty old slot anymore. It's why the Goonies died. It's why Goonies Return died. It's like Wubba Lubba died. It's why, if this was the case, those people would still be playing them because they'd still be hitting. It's the fact that nobody's playing them that has made it a dead pond. Insanity, I understand. I understand what I'm saying in my head, but I might be completely talking shite. It wouldn't be the first time. Thanks for watching. Comments, fire away. I think I like these videos that get people talking about the reality of, luck, just straight up luck. When you go fishing, sometimes you're just bloody lucky. But as I said, you ain't holding the rod. You ain't saying how long the line is. You ain't putting the hook. You ain't putting the maggot on the hook. And you ain't fishing in a certain direction. The robot does that for you. Get it? Make sense? Bullshit? All comments welcome, except for them ones that are just knobhead stuff. Don't be a knobhead. Be a fisherman. See you again soon. Ciao for now. Punk out.